Hi, my name is Bob Brooks, host of Prudent Money. Doing the radio show every day affords me the opportunity to really hear a lot of stories of experiences with credit card companies, debt collectors, a lot of the irresponsible marketing that I talk about. And what I like to do, I like to go back and really research these stories and get the facts and then come back to you on Prudent Money and tell you this other side of the story so that you don't fall into some of these traps. Well, a couple of weeks ago I had a listener call in and his story immediately piqued my interest because it was about a debt collector who had one of his debts. It was an old debt, and this debt collector sent him this letter with a credit card offer on it. Now, I had never heard of a debt collector doing this, so I was very interested. And basically the offer was that he has this old debt, the debt collector wants to collect it, and so they're giving him the opportunity to transfer that debt, transfer the debt to this credit card, and that would make the debt all paid up as far as the debt collector goes. Well, let's look at this. If this would have really been a good deal for him, because this is an old debt. It's about 7 years old. And he's out of harm's way. And what I mean by that is that it's the very first 4 years, at least in the state of Texas, that you have what's called a statute of limitations period. And that statute of limitations period is the time period where a creditor or a debt collector can actually use legal means by filing a lawsuit, taking you through arbitration, to collect a debt. This is the worst case scenario, and you want to stay out of the court systems by all means if you're in this particular situation. Well, he's way past that. He's it's 4 years in the state of Texas, and I say it that way because each state determines the statute of limitations period. Not only was he out of any harm of any legal means being used against him, he was also almost at a point, maybe about a half a year left, to where all of this information was going to fall off of his credit report. It was going to be as if it never had even happened. So if he takes them up on this particular offer, what ends up happening is, sure, he's resolved the debt with the debt collector. However, now he has created a brand new debt on his credit report because he has a brand new credit account. This credit card offer will be set up as an account. The money transfers from the debt collector to this new credit card, and it shows up as a brand new debt. Now, what's worse is that if he defaults on this particular debt, then he starts a brand new statute of limitations period where he could get sued over this debt, and the debt collector could use it as a legal means to collect the debt. Horrible scenario for this guy. So I just started looking into this. I'm thinking, tell me why a credit card company and a debt collector would do this. Well, I started doing some investigation and found that this debt collector actually has partnered up with this bank. I found a September 2006 news release that states that they are in partnership together. And now, if you look at the terms and conditions on the back, which always is the very first place to go, if you look at the terms and conditions, it says that there is no affiliation between the two. Actually, that's not true. There is an affiliation. In fact, if you go to the bank's website, you'll see that this debt collector is an affiliated partner with them. Now, that's the first disturbing thing. The second disturbing thing is that this is set up as to give the person a no-interest loan for the life of it. So this credit card company is going to allow this individual to transfer this debt over into this new credit card account, and he's not going to have to pay any interest, and he's going to be able to pay it off for the life of the loan, no cost at all to him. And I called up the bank and I said, what incentive is there for you to do that? You're not making any money. They said, well, it's our hope that we build a relationship. Okay, so that was her line. She said, we never will raise the rates on him. Well, if you look at the terms and conditions back here, you'll find that that's not so true. They can raise the rates for any reason that they want. And they can change the terms of this agreement for any reason. So they can raise the rates. Another thing that's not accurate. So I got to thinking, what is potentially going on behind the scenes here? And I'll tell you what I came up with. If I'm a debt collector and I'm out buying a bunch of old debts, so I buy a portfolio of old debts that they're out of the statute of limitations period, they're almost out of the credit reporting period, so they're not worth much to a debt collector because it's just too tough to try to collect them. So I pay pennies on the dollars for these debts. So what's the best way to make that old debt a profitable debt again? Well, you make it into a brand new debt. So what do? I get a partnership with a bank. And once I get that partnership going, the bank offers this person that's got this old debt that I'm trying to collect a way to transfer that debt into a brand new credit card account. So what's that do? That creates a brand new debt. Because it's a brand new account, they're creating a brand new debt. Now, if in this partnership, what if the bank starts to raise the interest rates and makes it to where this consumer can't continue to make payments? Well, it's probably going to be the consumer's mentality to say, you know what, it was in collections before, I'll let it go back to collections. Big problem, because you just started over, again, the statute of limitations period, which affords the debt collector the ability to file suit against you in the state of Texas for 4 years and collect that way. So now, this old debt that was worthless, that I paid hardly anything for, now is worth a lot. Because I have if I'm the debt collector, I have the statute of limitations period now, and I've got all kinds of leverage to collect that debt. And in addition, I can take that debt and I can add a bunch of new fees and penalties on the top of it to make it a much bigger debt. Could be what's going on, who knows. But all I have to say is this. And all the research that I've done for my book, Escape the Debt Trap, and all the people and countless stories I've heard, I do know one thing, is that credit card companies in general set up traps for consumers, and this would not surprise me at all if this was going on. The correct way to handle this situation, because if you have a debt, you always owe the debt, you're always liable for the debt. That's the first thing, and I think you should always pay your debt. So the correct way to handle this situation, since he's past almost all the reporting periods, is just to start accumulating money back. Don't pay the debt collector. Put money back into an account and accumulate a sum of money, and then negotiate a settlement once and for all for the original debt. And I stress the original debt because if you've been in debt collection, you know what happens is that they take the original debt and they add all these bogus penalties and fees on it and interest, and it could end up tripling the size of the debt. So you negotiate down to the original debt, you pay it, and that's how you take care of it.